Welcome back to the Praying and Slaying podcast, a Light the Fire Outdoors production. In this episode, Jeremy explains why it takes 5 shots to tackle an antelope, and also his fetish for murdering birds. The fellas cover some awesome new additions to the Light the Fire Outdoors store and upcoming events for LTFO listeners, before finally taking a deep dive into several outdoors industry topics over a cold one. With that, here's Aaron and Jeremy.
Yeah, after you shot that last turkey or that last
Gopher.
Gopher, and after I accidentally opened my beverage that I was saving for later on in the podcast. But
I mean, it's never accidental.
It was here, and it just, in the Yeti koozie, you just kind of open it up and it'll say.
It's the first, I don't know what it is down there, but it's 65 up here and it feels phenomenal. So I poured myself an LTFO praying and slaying drink up here too. So
nice. Yeah, it's like summer weather for sure.
I know, it feels awesome.
So,
Gophers are out.
Yeah,
actually perfect timing too, because for the listeners out there, some of the newer news for Light the Fire Outdoors / Praying and Slaying is we are now set up as a BlackHound Optics dealer. And if you've never heard of BlackHound Optics, it surprised me because I hadn't either. I was actually doing a deep dive on looking for a different scope to throw on that 6.5 by 300 for the upcoming season, and ended up accidentally running across one of these guys' reviews on YouTube. And then I started deep diving on them. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we Light the Fire Outdoors is a BlackHound Optics dealer. So
go to BlackHoundOptics.com/LTFO.
I bought their 1:8 by 28 for my AR-15. I just got that set up here today, and just super sweet. So all their scopes are first focal plane, phenomenal glass quality. I was actually I wasn't surprised, but when you get on that website and check out their price point, you will definitely be surprised when you get one of these scopes in your hand at how high end they are. I mean, they're just awesome stuff. They got 0 stops in all of their like hunting rifle scopes and stuff like that. Like I said, all of them are first focal plane. Their reticles are designed to kind of meet that happy medium of like Jeremy, who's hunter plus target shooter, PRS matches, stuff like that. The reticles are conducive for those types of things. For me being more of a hunter, they are right at that happy medium of those being a value to me too, but not too complex with the reticles. I think all their scopes have lighted reticles in them as well. Works great with the FTS, which is the most important piece. I got the other one I'm going to throw on the rifle here is a 6 to 24 by 50 scope. And my favorite part about them, I think overall, is the price point and the value they offer, but then they come with everything you need right out of the box to set it up. And I'm going to shoot a video doing kind of a halfway unboxing of the 6 to 24 by 50 scope and the other one. And then just kind of show you guys what all they come with, but really high quality mounts, everything you need to rock right out of the box. So basically you pull it out, slap it on your rifle, hit the range and sight it in. So I'm pretty excited about them.
Okay. Yeah. And you got the MOA version, correct?
I did. Yeah. So good point. All their scopes. So they have basically 2 models of every one of their scopes, MOA and mill. But other than that, they're basically all the same.
Yeah, and I'm looking at I'd go with the mill version myself, just because I'm a mill guy. But they have the spec sheet on the subtensions on the reticle, so you've got 0.2 subtensions between your subtensions on the horizontal and 0.5 on the vertical, and then it gives you numbered by every mill is what it looks like. So that looks to be pretty good information for using the reticle to range find with milling and stuff. And then of course you have the MOA. I'm looking at that right now on their website. Their subtension looks like it's 4 MOA per line in the reticle, and then so that would be, and then they give you a short hashes at every 1 MOA, and then a little bit longer hash at 2. So it's not too bad information. What's the click value on that MOA reticle, does it gives you 0.2, it looks like. In between 0 and 1, you've got each hatch mark is 0.2. Does that sound right, Aaron?
Yeah, I believe so. Sorry, I had you on mute there on my end, so you weren't hearing my clicking. Yeah, quarter MOA on here, and then the subtension I believe is 0.2. Yeah.
And then how many revolutions do you get in one? It looks like it's 12 MOA per revolution.
Per revolution, yep.
Okay.
And then just one second here. I gotta second here. I gotta hop off and grab a call quick.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
All right, sounds good. Yep, I was just typing an email myself. So yeah, it looks like it's, I can't tell, maybe 5. I'm guessing. Yeah, okay. Travel per rotation is 5 mils. So then it gives you 20 mils on the vertical. So I might have to pick one of those up in 6 to 24 and give those a try. So
yeah, for sure.
You said that the FTS did fit over that, because I know when we were looking at it on a Zoom here the other day, you were thinking that it might not be fitting over the eyepiece there.
Yeah, so actually, and that's an interesting note. So as far as obviously, Jeremy and I both and John as well uses all Tacticam gear for the stuff that we shoot out in the field for videos. So working with Tacticams is important to us. And the FTS system, so like Jeremy said, the first scope I opened when him and I were on a call the other day was the 1:8 by 28 first focal plane MOA scope. And the eyepiece on that is too big for the Tacticam FTS. So basically we would not be able to film through the scope with the current FTS system. It just doesn't fit. It's the eyepiece is too big on the scope. And then I was a little concerned because like, oh crap, obviously all the stuff we love to film with Tacticam products through the scope. Now that we can, it's like you don't hit the field without doing it. So anyway, I got the 6 to 24 out by 50. I was going to do an unboxing of it, but I wanted to check this first because this was more important to me. And actually, it fits perfect. It uses the same shim that my Zeiss does on there and my Vortex Viper. So it's the same shim fits all 3 of my scopes, which is kind of cool. So yeah, it fits on there perfect actually. And the glass clarity on here is I would rival it against my Zeiss just as a reference point for you guys. So I do have currently I've got a Zeiss Conquest V4 on that 6.5 by 300. It's what I use this year, and I would throw it up against that any day. And that, in my opinion, that Zeiss so far has probably been the best glass that I've owned.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I was playing around with it last night. Saw out my back window here at Light the Fire Outdoor Studios. You can basically see from 3 feet to infinity as far as you want to see across the horizon line in big sky country. And I was playing with the parallax at low light, and I mean, you can at 24 power zoom. I mean, you can still see past legal shooting light, which is awesome out here. So, and that's at like the farthest I can range something here where I live is about 624 yards. And then beyond that, it's all open rolling country, like coulee country. So beyond that, I just put the parallax to infinity at 24 power zoom just to kind of see what the light quality looked like. And I mean, I was still, like I said, timing it past where legal shooting lights should fall. And I was still, you could definitely take a shot at distance at that level of light.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, if you find one you want, definitely check it out. And then if there are any military listeners on here, they do a military program as well. And it goes through dealers, so they don't do it direct at all. So contact us at Light the Fire Outdoors, and we can actually get you guys 10% off. That's a military member. That goes for any service member that's out there, actually, which is kind of a cool thing they do. They call it their frontline program. And basically, so, my wife is a nurse. She could qualify for it for medical professionals, any kind of first responders, police, firefighters, military, stuff like that. You guys all qualify for a discount. They call it their 2-time map pricing. And so that's all done through local dealers. So they don't do anything direct. So definitely get a hold of us if you fall in that department and decide it's something you want to try out.
And what else have we got going on at Light the Fire Outdoors that's new and exciting then, since we've talked last time?
New and exciting, man. Well, I know you were filming a meat canning video, which was pretty cool. And you got a hold of one of the Light the Fire outdoor beanies, and you did a trial run with that, and it determined it was actually too hot to wear indoors.
Yes, yes. When you're canning meat inside, it's too hot. So you'll see that I switched to my to a ball cap halfway through, and maybe 2 or 3 ball caps. Let me tell you, that was an interesting day. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong when the video camera's rolling. But we got a couple of dozen or a dozen cans of meat, I think 9 or 10, I can't remember, 10 or 11, I think it was, cans of meat of ducks and geese that we got canned up. So that's good news.
Awesome.
Very, very exciting stuff there. Need to get down and edit that sucker and put it in a video format for you guys, but that's coming for sure. So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. But and then we're talking about doing some new hats so we can have some ball caps, since weather is warmer outside, and we don't need to
Roast our heads
sweat
off.
where, yeah, don't
You
need to sweat
you
wearing
need
a beanie.
ventilation, not insulation.
So
Yeah.
but
So we're
yeah,
looking at doing some. So Jeremy did a little bit of research. Yeah, I think ball caps are going to be the next thing hitting the website. So right now, if you go to lightthefireoutdoors.com and click on the shop LTFO tab, you'll go to the store. Basically, we have the Light the Fire Outdoor beanies right now. We got a limited supply of those left. Merino wool, super snug, super warm, lightweight for if you're taking it out hunting. Definitely awesome. This is going to be like an infomercial for Light the Fire Outdoors
right.
store today. But then we do have a full inventory of all the scopes available as well. So you can order right off LTFO.com if you'd like. I do have everything listed at MAP price there. And then we have, like I said, if you want to check out the BlackHound Optics directly on their website, just type in blackhoundoptics.com/LTFO, and basically you're shopping through us there as well. And then it automatically applies a discount for you on that site, saying thanks for being a partner of LTFO. And then we have, hopefully some ball caps coming too. So, so I mean, that's the long and short of what's new, I think, with us. And then I think what we're going to probably end up doing too, we're just kicking it around, kind of for the summer months. We're sitting right at like 900 likes on our Facebook page. Probably sitting at, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 maybe on the Instagram page. So we're probably going to do a giveaway for you guys. And I was thinking definitely some Light the Fire Outdoor swag, but Jeremy wants to up the ante a little bit, I think.
So what we're going to do is we're close to 1,000 likes on our Facebook page. So once we hit 1,000 likes, I think we're going to run the contest for, I don't know, should we do it like a week after we hit 1,000 likes on the Facebook page to give people a chance that listen to this or something?
Yeah, I'd say exactly. Once we get, I think we'll run a contest to try to get the page up to 1,000 likes. And then once we hit it, I'd say we give it a week and then do a drawing for everybody that's involved with that.
Yeah. And so there's a couple of things too. We want you also to like our Facebook and or our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel right now has 8 subscribers. So should we make it a requirement that the winner be a subscriber of all 3 platforms?
Yeah, I think that makes some good sense. And I think,
yeah,
how about that? We want you to like all 3 pages. However, let's draw out of a list of names off the YouTube channel.
Okay, we'll draw off the YouTube channel. When the
have you
Facebook
seen some of like Remy
hits,
Warren's? Go ahead.
When the Facebook channel hits 1,000 likes, we'll go to our YouTube channel with the least amount of subscribers, and we're gonna pull a winner. But the exciting thing is what we're gonna give away is should we do one of the new hats, the caps?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think we're gonna have and I'm thinking about doing some like window sticker logos. I mean, I've got like a beer fridge downstairs that all my window stickers end up on from all the different companies. But yeah, I'm thinking like a vinyl like window decals too. We'll probably do that. We'll do one of the new hats, maybe one of the beanies too, so you're ready for the upcoming winter. And then
and then I'm going to take what cut out when Aaron left here. I'm going to take one of my reveals. I've got a few reveals from last year, and this camera has been set up, and I used it to scout some whitetail last year. So it is a used reveal camera, but it will be cleared it's a Verizon camera model, and I'll pick whatever one's the prettiest out of the bunch. I don't think I have the original box, so you're going to get whatever box I have. But the winner, the grand prize, is going to be a reveal camera, trail camera. So
awesome, man. I love it.
So yeah,
just to get some traction out there, some more people looking and listening in, hopefully, and then let you know all the platforms that we're available on.
Yeah, I think I like it. So, well, cool. That's a good idea. Productive day. We're giving stuff away. So
yeah, heck yeah, man. Awesome. We'll announce it as well on the Facebook and other pages too, so you guys have a second place to hear about it in case you forget.
Yep. You were making a comment about Remy Warren or something when we were on the phone there. So.
Well, I was just thinking as creative as we were getting for our drawing process, they're like, hey, like this page, and we're going to go to a totally separate page and pull people from. He did a giveaway one time on his podcast that I was listening to, and I think it was like, I might have seen it on his social media too. So basically, he just tells people to go through, and he waits to the end of his podcast to say like how you get entered into this giveaway. And then he said at the end of it, he was like, okay, so here's how you get entered into my giveaway I'm doing. Go to my page on Instagram. I think it was, maybe it was just like one platform like Instagram, or maybe it was Instagram and Facebook. But basically, it's totally random. So his whole goal was like, get involved with every single post that I make, because you don't know what post I'm going to go to and find a random comment that I'm going to pull the winner from.
Okay. Yeah.
And he said, so obviously the way you get more entries is to like every single one of his posts or comment on every one of his posts, whatever it was. And he said, I'll just put it to you this way. The guy that won my last giveaway liked every single post of mine except for like one. And he's the guy, because he obviously upped his odds. And he said the post that I randomly picked had 2 comments on it. One of them was his. So he had a 50% chance of winning, even though it was like so many people went and commented on all these photos. But he's like, most guys went to like the top 10 latest listings, and that was as far as they went. But this guy went through like every single one and won. So anyway, we're not going to go that crazy, but we do want you guys following the YouTube channel. Obviously, that's where most of the video content goes. And then from there, it goes on to the Light the Fire Outdoors website as well, but you can definitely find it on the YouTube channel. And with Jeremy in the hat now, we're going to have a lot more video content coming on a regular basis. Just totally side note, one of my random goals actually now is to set 1 day a week for video editing. Like that's what I do, one evening a week, so I can actually keep up with it. Because if you have never tried editing videos in general, plus work a full-time job, plus have a family, plus all these other things, like video
plus
editing,
have a podcast,
plus have a podcast. And it sounds like it'd be super easy, especially when you're trying to keep videos, we're not filming 20-30 minute TV episodes here, but it takes a long time, man. I bet you it takes at least 2 hours probably to get a simple video done.
Yeah. And I'm not good at it either. And that's that's a really good goal. I should just take and write it into my schedule and say this day for this 2 hour or 3 hour time block is going to be my video editing time. And I'm just going to do it. And then I get it done for sure. But like I was making that video the other night for Tacticam, and it was a real simple PowerPoint presentation, and I set it up to stream my picture onto the video, and you won't believe how long that video took me. It was embarrassing. It took probably 7 or 8 hours, and because I recorded it 3 different times. The first time I didn't like the audio. The second time I didn't record all of the audio. I recorded like the first 2 minutes, and it was quite embarrassing.
Oh, I understand.
That's why I said I needed a drink today, is because I actually, if you notice, my voice is quite raspy in that video. It's because, man, it was 11 o'clock at night, and I hadn't drank anything for the last 4 hours, and I was like, I just got to get this out. I got to get it out before midnight. That was my goal, And I think I think it published at like 11:45 or something. So the fun stuff. The other thing that I didn't. I don't know that I told you I did, but when I was canning meat, I had a double cook day. So I took I took and smoked jerky at the same time. I made 20 pounds of jerky that day on Saturday.
Well, heck yeah, man. That sounds delicious.
So I took and I also recorded content to make a jerky making video. So I've got that. Now you're going to notice I took and I changed between my sweatshirt and my flannel shirt. And I wasn't trying to make the video look different. I did it solely on the purpose that when I look at the video, I can see if I was wearing a sweatshirt or a flannel shirt and know which one was the meat cannon video and which one was the video. So I'm not trying to pull the wool out of anybody's eyes or anything like that. I'm just trying to make my video editing life a little bit easier.
Oh, dude, I've gone 1,000 different directions with that. Like trying to get, I mean, even like sometimes like if you're filming a very specific thing, especially if it's super specific to like like an episode or something, like an intro or I don't know, all kinds of situations. There's been times where I stand in front of the camera and say, you know, whatever, Montana antelope hunt, episode 1, introduction. And then I know when I watch that video, the first 3 or 4 seconds of the video will tell me what it is. But what I've found is almost simpler. Like that's probably a great option, especially if you're using one camera and you're filming it all in one shot. It easily tells you, okay, I'm wearing this outfit. This one goes in this folder. This one goes in that folder. But man, it's almost easier like to get like on my Tacticams after, especially if I've gone several different hunts, especially if they're successful, because you know most of the hunts you're going to see on there are going to be ones that it probably got something on them. I don't film a ton if it's a hunt that I didn't get anything on. So, but it's not like I'm trying to, same thing, pull the wool over anybody's eyes. Is just get out there and, you know, if you get something, I'm filming more obviously than I am if I'm like, oh, this day sucks, I'm not seeing anything, I'm not going to be filming if there's nothing to film. But anyway, getting through and doing segment dumps, just create like a folder or 2 folders on your desktop and then just drag and drop the different shirt colors into the folder.
Yeah,
Makes it easy.
I mean, I just was like, how do I simplify this? And I actually was running 3 cameras at the time, which is good that I did. Yeah, I ran my GH9 for my my micro 4/3 camera to get my good picture, and then I was running the Tacticam 5.0 wide for all the wide stuff. And then I wanted to experiment recording on my iPhone because I'd never recorded on my iPhone before. And I mean, just the recording day snafu. So I bought a lapel mic that I could put into my GH9 because I hate having poor audio, you know? Well, in the course of a 8 or 10 hour cook day, that died on me partially through the day. So I'm hoping that I don't have gaps in audio because my microphone died on me, and I can pull it from other cameras. So it's gonna take a little bit of work. And then, you know, the 5.0 works really good for point of view, you know, going to check the smoker and stuff like that, you know. But and then I just kind of had the iPhone there just because I wanted to play around with guys. I mean, I see people that do their YouTube channels on just iPhone, and I always have my phone on me. So I'm like, well, I should record some stuff and just get some experience with it more than anything. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just one of those days. The most stable, easiest camera was just the 5.0 because I turn it on and I let it run, you know, and the batteries last a lot longer, and it's got a super good indicator. The GH9 I had in like 4K mode, and then it turns off after 10 minutes and stops recording, and or after another mode it turns after 29 minutes and 59 seconds it stops recording. So if you have longer than a segment, so then you can go into 1080p mode and it records unlimited. So that was an experience through the filmmaking day, because I don't do a ton of these videos. I record a ton of stuff, but I just always use the content for myself. I don't take and republish it. But I've just been trying different things, and I got this nice micro 4/3 camera last year, and I really haven't used it a lot. So that's all part of the other reason I'm using it, is because I've got it, so I might as well use it.
Might as well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's
But
an interesting point. I think, I guess this is kind of turning into a video a video editing podcast, but um for anybody out there, I think there's a couple things to think about with this. So like Jeremy said, he's got a nice camera. Get out there and use it, and you will definitely notice the difference with a nice camera. And then it kind of the same thing. The more you get more for what you pay for, I suppose, in terms of how the video looks, how the video sounds with an audio mic and things like that. But just as a reference, I don't know at all like what that camera you're referring to costs, but I've got
$1,500.
okay, well there you go.
So I mean,
Yeah,
and that
but
was
you're gonna
that
have
was eBay used, right? But
right.
it's an expensive camera.
Yeah,
And that was with a few lenses or something. But yeah,
okay, yeah, there you go. And your video quality will 100% reflect what you have into your camera. I mean, for the most part. But as far as like myself, I've done everything from when I very first got into video editing for Light the Fire Outdoors, when I said, hey, you know what, I want to do something like this. To my initial goal was like, oh, I should try to film and to be on TV one day. And then I realized getting into the industry, I realized what goes into that. And I just said that wasn't for me. Nor did I want to try to do that. And so then I was like, oh, you know what, I could kind of do, like you said, do it for myself, get my hunts on film. So I have all these memories to look back on. And then it kind of evolved from there. But the very first camcorder I had was a Panasonic, I can't even remember the model number, Panasonic something, but it was like one of those big camcorders, the flip out screen. It was a phenomenal camcorder. Like the footage quality that came off, it was ridiculous. The mic that was on it was really, really good. And, but it filmed onto cassette tapes. And so it wasn't one of those things when I bought it that I thought about. I was just like, oh yeah, this is what all the professionals are going to use. Obviously. I mean, so I'm going to do it too. And then when I finally got my very first hunt on film was a turkey in Iowa. I was in a ground blind and I ended up getting a turkey hunt on film, start to finish.
I've got a question. Did you hit the turkey with one shot?
I did. This was before I got bad at shooting turkeys.
Okay.
I used to be phenomenal at shooting turkeys. I never had a problem at it until I started hunting with other people.
Is that what okay. Cause I was talking to another Tacticam team leader and they're like, oh, Aaron can't hit a turkey with a darn. Cause we were talking about,
I'll put it, hey, and this is a call out to all the team leaders out there. If you're giving me smoke for not hitting a turkey, there's only ever been one team leader who's witnessed me shooting at a turkey and I killed that turkey in one shot.
Okay.
Just stone cold dropped it. Didn't even flop. That's how good I hit it. There's only been one team leader I've ever hunted with on that. Now let's pull back. Now, Jeff, on the other hand, from Tacticam, he could tell you all kinds of stories about he's swinging and missing on birds, but that's a whole nother story for another time. There is a team leader at Tacticam that once shot the middle toe off of the right foot of a turkey with his bow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And they found the toe. So if you're ever in Iowa and you shoot a 5-toed turkey, they should have 6 as a reference. I guess technically 8 if you count the back toe, but either way, if you find a 5-toed turkey, more than likely you should give Paul Kermy, not giving any names away, a call because he's probably looking for that bird. So they're just freak accident, but no. This turkey was one shot. I've killed all the birds I ever killed in Iowa, with the exception of hunting with Tacticam and reaping them. I've killed off the same hill from one of 2 trees that I would use as a backrest.
Okay.
Every one of them. So I'll take that back. My very first turkey I killed on a farm of a friend of my dad's. We went out and got one out of a ground blind tree, with the traditional one guy calling, one guy sitting there with a gun out the window and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, this was I had this camcorder on this particular turkey hunt that I got on film. This was pre-Tacticam days. I had the camcorder set up in the ground blind. It was super windy that day. Couldn't hear anything. I mean, it was just, I was calling, but I was seriously doubting my ability to hear a bird if it actually gobbled back at me. Like, it was just that windy, which is why I sat in a ground blind instead of out in the open that day. And anyway, I end up just turning around and looking out the back window of the blind or the door or whatever was to my back there. And I see a fan over over the raspberry bushes that were back there. And I was like, no kidding, there's a bird right there. So I spun around quick. I flipped the camera around. I got it on him. I'm filming the fan. And I could barely see his head poke through the brush. And he was probably 25, 30 yards. And I pulled the trigger and trying to get everything in line. I wasn't really focused. I don't think I had the gun all the way there. And I was kind of leaning funny on the chair I was sitting on anyway. So you see the bird in the video, you hear the gunshot go off, and then all of a sudden the camera's looking at the ceiling of the blind because I actually fell backwards, knocked the camera over, and almost knocked the blind over. So it wasn't the greatest video in the world, but it was first turkey I ever got on film, and that was with that old sucker. Well, then, okay, so now fast forward and saying, okay, I'm in video editing mode, using Tacticams and stuff like that. Well, I went to grab those videos, wanted to do like a throwback series to like the original LTFO hunt, and I'm like, how do I edit film? Like it's not on a CD. It's not in digital, SD card format like everything else is. And that's when I decided I needed to sell that sucker for the, for something different to get into a nicer camera, like a DSLR or something that has more options, yada, yada, yada. And for those guys that are in that boat, if you're looking just to start filming your hunts, and this isn't a product plug, this is 100% my belief, go get yourself a Tacticam. Like you will not find an easier camera out there. It's got more bells and whistles than you'll need for most hunts in general, but you're not going to miss your hunt because it's going to be right on the end of your weapon, your gun, your bow. You can head mount it if you want, shoulder mount it if you want, whatever. But it's so easy. You just hit the button, forget about the camera, and do your thing. And then you're going to get your hunt on film on an accident, basically. You can't mess it up.
And the best part about that is you still get a hunt, right? So
exactly. Yeah. You're not playing cameraman and hunter. You're doing one task.
If you want to be a cameraman, go be a cameraman and buy the cool cameras and stuff. But I even have my really fancy $1,500 camera, my GH9, and I was out goose hunting this year, and we were having a great goose day, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna use my good camera. Well, dude, my buddy's shooting all the geese. I'm like, this sucks. So I took my nice camera, threw it in the bottom of a lay down blind. It still got a little mud on it from that, and I turned on the Tacticam and went hunting, and we shot all kinds of geese, and we were actually taking turns shooting. So because it was just him and I, and we had limited out the previous day in like 35 minutes. So we were taking and he shot. And so then, and that was my thinking, is I could take and use the GH9 to film it, but you're laying in the lay down blind, everything sucks. So if I've got my Tacticam on the end of my shotgun, I just hold it vertical so I get a good wide view as the geese are coming in at our feet. And then he'd sit up to shoot, and I just sit up and I just follow. I'd be, do the follow through that never happens and get super good follow through video. So that's video that needs to be edited in my murdering birds folder for 2021 on my computer. In fact, you saw some of that footage when you were making fun of me of the goose. So
we wear multiple hats here at LTFO, okay? Because have we announced that you actually got hired by Tacticam?
No, I don't think we have. I was thinking about that today.
I wanted to give you congratulations earlier, but I'm like, I feel like we might have said it in like one of the previous ones, but I don't think we have. So that's another LTFO announcement, man. Is 100% of the people that have ever been on this podcast and been a part of LTFO have in some way, shape, or form been a part of Tacticam and then got hired by Tacticam. So now Jeremy is actually the brand new communications director for Tacticam, which is really cool. Actually, it's kind of a fraternity almost, because that's the initial job that I got hired to do at Tacticam. That's where I got my start here in the outdoors world, and with Tacticam specifically. And then John, who's also on here, he's got a pipeline job right now, which is taking him completely out of commission. He works he just works all the time and just out there grinding, but he's a good old Minnesota boy. So I think it fits his bill pretty well. But he got hired to fill my shoes when I left. And now Jeremy got hired to fill the last guy's shoes. So it's like a pretty cool lineage out here. This is kind of funny. It just dawned on me. Yeah. But no, congratulations, man. Welcome to Tacticam again.
So, but yeah, we were taking it. So that we were talking about Christmas hunt and goose hunt or something,
Yep.
and videos. So I posted on one of our Tacticam team pages this video, and I'm not actually shooting it. It came off of my buddy's Tacticam,
Yeah.
but it's a goose that came into 10 yards away, and
I
he
would say
just
came
sits
in
up.
hot.
Yeah, I mean, it was just locked. It came in from a long ways, and it came in super close, and it was his turn to shoot. He shoots up or sits up, shoots this thing like right off the end of his barrel, and it falls. And it's pretty good footage, but there was no follow through. So you just see after he shoots, he sits back down, and the gun barrel goes up in the air, and you see the sky. So what's the Red Ranger do? He takes and licks his mustache and says, "I'm going to get on my keyboard and make fun of Jeremy for having a video with no follow through." So he posts, "Oh, no follow through," and I'm like, dude, this is great footage, even if there isn't follow through, because you're shooting a goose at 10 yards with a Tacticam.
Oh yeah.
But then I went through some of the footage, and I think I posted a video that came off of my hunting partner's gun, and I don't even think we shot, and I don't know if you caught that, but it was just strictly all follow through on the goose. It was just watching it fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
And it might have even been a double or something. It was a great day to be filming goose hunting
That's
and
awesome.
murdering birds for sure.
And murdering birds.
Yeah, that's what we do.
I have a sneaky suspicion that's going into the name of this podcast.
Maybe.
No, you got to give people a hard time. So, and the reason I brought the working for Tacticam thing up, when you work for Tacticam, you get the right and opportunity to ridicule other people's Tacticam videos. And one of the main things with getting a good waterfowl video from your any video, actually, it doesn't really matter what you're hunting or shooting at. The follow through piece is huge. Like, because anybody can, get that split. A lot of times everybody that's listening to this probably is hunted or knows a hunter well enough to know this happens. Like, sometimes you have plenty of time to get all kinds of cool footage of stuff and everything else, but a lot of times, maybe more often than not, it does happen in a split second, which another Tacticam plug, it's the easiest camera out there because you don't have to mess with it. When your gun is up or your bow is up, you're going to be on the target. So half your hunting TV shows and stuff, you'll hear all kinds of stuff. Oh, I couldn't get on the animal, or the cameraman just couldn't get on him, or we ran out of filming light, or whatever, right? Those things just don't happen when you have a Tacticam on your gun or bow, because you are the cameraman, and then you don't miss a lot of action because it takes like a second from the time you push the button for that camera to start recording. So it's super quick. But anyway, so regardless of how fast it happens, to get some good footage with, a lot of times you just got to follow through. So, when you're hunting a bird, it kind of trains you to be a little bit more of a, more target oriented shooter, because you got to stay on one animal. And then once you shoot, you want to keep following the animal, which you should do anyway for a follow-up shot or whatever. But, if you get the bird, it falls out of the sky, you follow it to the ground and get a great video. So no, of course, Jeremy's video happens so fast. You could tell, like, if anyone's seen this clip at all, it does happen so fast. Like, it'd be almost impossible to follow that bird through. I mean, it was so close to the ground. He smokes it.
Yeah, it was 3 feet off the ground.
It was done as soon as he pulled the trigger.
We might have to put that on the YouTube video and just put a link on there or something. But
yeah, I think so.
So guys can watch it. But yeah, it was looking good for sure. So
I think we'll definitely have to.
But yeah, that's the simplest. That's the one thing you want to train yourself when you do record with the Tacticam, is to follow through. Now, sometimes you have those videos that you actually miss, and it's recorded, and then you don't tell anybody about that and hide.
Yeah, so. No, for sure. No, and it's well, and that's, you can delete it off your phone in the field. You don't have to bring it home with you if you don't want.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But, and then I guess trying to get back to the camera point. So, but I do think there's a lot of use for other, maybe higher end cameras or whatever. So once I got rid of that Panasonic, the big giant camcorder I had, I got into the Sony A3000. And so if you don't know, that's basically an entry level DSLR style camera. You can interchange lenses on it, do all kinds of cool stuff that way. But I actually got it off a site called I think it was eFurb, if I remember right. but basically it's like a refurbished camera site. So when people send in cameras, you know, like maybe Jeremy's $1,500 camera, or I think this one retailed somewhere in the ballpark of $400 or $500, you know, out of the box. They send it into the, you know, a company, they refurbish it, and this EFurb company specializes in selling refurbished products, and they guarantee it to work for 2 years or whatever. So you have a, you know, you're not out at anything if it falls apart again or whatever. So anyway, I actually got this camera for like $200. I think it was like $198 or something like that. Oh, nice. And I love it. It's got a plug-in mic that I can do, but this has a totally different purpose. I've thought about bringing it in the field with me. But man, I mean, you get a couple Tacticams. It's just too easy. It's too easy to film with Tacticam to really, at this point in time, in my opinion, bring anything else out there with me for the level of stuff that I do, or that we do, you know, really for archetype of filming. But this camera is great because I do a lot of stuff for like dealer videos. I try to do like a product knowledge tip of the week for the Tacticam dealers and stuff that I support. And, you know, just something simple that I can stick on a tripod, click record, and do some just like impromptu type of videos, or maybe interviews for some of the Light to Fire outdoor stuff you'll see on YouTube. I might do some interviews in front of it. That type of stuff is great because the audio is definitely, you don't have to worry about wind noise really. You got the windsock if you're doing something outside. And it's a different quality, different level of video. And I'm not saying it's not resolution quality. There's a difference between that and I feel like what I'm talking about here, I guess. But because the Tacticam is great too. You can put that on a tripod and do it as well. The biggest thing with that is it's got, you know, being a 3.5 ounce camera, the microphone that's in it is awesome, but you want to be like inside if you're going to be filming with that for like any kind of realistic interview situation, or you want it to be like a very low wind situation because the mic will be different.
Right. And the thing I like about I just like the being able to flip the screen around and see and make sure I'm centered in the frame, the camera and stuff like that with when I'm kind of doing that interview shot. And I'd say that's the downside with the Tacticam is you can't see and make sure you've got all the picture of everything you're looking at. Now, when you're using a 5.0 wide, you've got such a wide angle that it doesn't really matter because you're capturing what you want anyways. More than likely. And that's one thing I noticed from using the iPhone is I tried to record with the camera on the back of the iPhone because it's higher quality than the selfie view camera, I would say, or call it. And at that point in time, that was kind of the experience I learned is this is no different than my Tacticam. Now, I was able to plug in an external mic to hopefully get some better audio on that, you know, when I was going out and using that. So we'll just kind of see how it all shakes out. But I think, you know, trying the different cameras and stuff, the Tacticam's so easy. I sit there and I'm like, why didn't I just record the whole video with the Tacticam too, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's just a whole different style. Now, I would argue, you know, you brought up the point of being able to see what you're filming. If you do just have a Tacticam, and again, I really firmly believe a Tacticam is probably the most universal, user-friendly, just all-around purpose camera. It's designed to be a point of view camera, but better than a lot of other cameras that are out there for that. I mean, it covers so many more bases than anything else that's out there, really, in my opinion. So, but you mentioned the screen factor, you know, being able to flip out that open screen and see kind of what's going on in the frame of the camera. You can actually do that with your 502. You just got to you got to connect it with Wi-Fi to your phone, and then it'll stream the image to there so you can make sure you're centered in the frame or whatever. I mean, you can definitely do it. It's just a little bit more of a process to it, I guess, than just flip the screen and click record.
Right. Yeah.
And for that matter, you know, if you guys are, I think, again, you know, just advice, if you're looking to get into filming, regardless of the camera you're using, if you, you'll notice like every TV show will do it for the most part, or even a higher level YouTube channel, stuff like that. They usually have some sort of like a studio style scene when they're doing the interviews. And I think one of the primary wins there. So like for me, when I'm filming a lot of dealer videos, I've got a wall with my turkey fans all mounted to it in my office, and I face the camera that direction. Well, once you've set that like setting up for a video, and you've gotten, like you said, you've centered yourself in the frame, you kind of know where it's at. you could do that. You could just repeat it over and over. You put the camera and tripod in the same spot, and you know what you're getting on film at that point, basically.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do this every single time necessarily. You can set up your shot once, and if it's something that's going to be repeated, like an interview is always typically shot in that studio atmosphere type thing, it should be fairly repeatable for you.
Well, and my wife and I are building our house right now, and I told her that I'm building a studio for making videos. So I'm gonna have a basement, and I'm gonna have it mainly unfinished, except for I'm putting my office down there, and I'm gonna make it huge, like 14 by 16 or 16 by 18 or something.
That's awesome.
I mean, but I'm gonna build a nice bench. I'm gonna put a nice wall behind me. You know, I was thinking about mounts, but mounts kind of create a space issue. So the turkey fan idea is a great idea. Like that. Might put some of that up there. But yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm recreating my brewery and cooking space. So
heck yeah.
You were at my old house with my kick-ass 3-bay stainless steel sink and my brewery, right?
Yeah.
So I kept that, and so
heck yeah.
But this time I've made it bigger. So I've taken and I'm going to put an oven out in my garage, so that I've got so if I want to cook out in my garage and make videos, I'll have that. So I'm going to take basically one wall in my garage, and I'm going to put that fiberglass reinforced panel on that whole wall, and I'll have my 3-bay sink. I'll have my fermentation chamber for my brewing. I'll have my brewing set up, because I'm going to make some brewing videos of beer, not seltzer. But
right.
And when you said beer fridge earlier, I meant to comment on that and say what he really means is his White Claw
seltzer fridge.
Yeah.
No, if I went down there with a camera right now, I'm almost positive there's not a seltzer in that fridge.
Really?
I'm positive there's some Dogfish Head Brewery sours in there that I really like. It's like their Saison, or how do you pronounce it? Is it Session? Or
Saison?
Maybe it's spelled like
Saison.
It's not a Saison. No, it's not a Saison. It's spelled like the word session. I just don't know if it's pronounced different.
Oh yeah, so it's just so it's just a session beer. So what a session beer is, it's like a Bud Light. It's a low alcohol content. So you can drink like 2 more of those before you get drunk than like an 8% or 12% beer. So, and it's all relative, right? So like a session IPA might be like 4.5%, but like a session sour is probably like 7.5 or 8%.
Yeah, as I say, I think this one's like 6.8 or something.
Right. Yeah.
And it's pretty darn tasty. That's one of my favorites. So I always keep a few of those on hand. I don't drink as much beer as I used to with like the keto thing going on. So it's like but if I'm going to have a beer, I'll grab one that I want to enjoy, and I'll enjoy every one of those 26.5 carbohydrates it has in it. But so I've got some of that. I think there's my wife. We had some friends over for like the Super Bowl. We just kind of had it on the background, ended up playing ping pong and poker the whole time. But she bought like a bunch of Mexican beer for some reason. Like she bought some, I think we have Modelo in there right now. We got Corona Premier, Corona Light, Corona
Tecate.
Regular.
Tecate?
No Tecate. She didn't get any Tecate.
Tecate. Oh man.
Oh, I know. And as soon as she brought home the Modelo's, the Modelo's, I was like, oh man, this brings me right back to elk camp with Jeremy. So,
exactly.
But so we have a bunch of south of the border beers in there, and then a couple Montana like Huckleberry. I got a blueberry Heffy, a Huckleberry Heffy in there. I don't know, just a random assortment, and they'll sit there until we have guests over and they drink them. So.
Right.
But anyway, it's kind of become the fun fridge, because my wife kept wanting to get rid of it because she doesn't like the color scheme with the bar that we built for it. Yeah. And I kept telling her, I don't want, the fridge works perfectly. And I've got a 8 beer vending machine in my office that I bought when I was like 16 years old from a garage sale. And so I'm like, I don't need it upstairs in my office. Like, let's just keep it. And I said, maybe we can like paint it, or you could do like a Pinterest project with it or something. Right. Well, then that turned into, let's stick all the cool stickers we get from different things in Montana to it. And then that turned into basically Aaron's hunting fridge, because now there's a bunch of like hunting, there's a First Light logo on there. There's a Tacticam logo on, there's a BlackHound Optics logo on there. There's a bunch of stuff, and it's all mostly hunting stuff.
So basically, you just went through those trade shows you go to and just started grabbing stickers and be like, "This can redecorate my fridge."
Actually, most of them ended up in the mailbox some way, shape, or form. I think
Oh, okay.
there's a company out here, and I don't think it's a franchise outside of Great Falls, but it's called um oh shoot, what is it? Oh, Broadwater Coffee Company. My wife loves going there for coffee on Saturdays, and they've got some pretty good stuff there. But I think it's a local thing to Great Falls, but they have a bunch of like funny and kind of cool stickers that they have there that they sell. And so there's a handful of those on there. But
Okay.
and there's a Glacier sticker from Glacier this summer. One of the, we hadn't been to Glacier in 2 years that we lived here, and last year we went like 6 times with different people that came up to visit.
Well, that's what you do in that North Country there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
exactly.
way better than Yellowstone.
I haven't been to Yellowstone yet. Still have not been. I think
Oh,
this year we'll have to
okay.
try to go sometime this year because um I don't know, I'm not going to divulge too much information, but we'll have to try to make it down there this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, and I think we'll have people visiting that'll want to go down there anyway. But I was hoping to, the Montana retail or realty market just absolutely sucks right now. So it's we were hoping to actually have a place down there in your neck of the woods, at least a piece of property to be able to hang out on, and it'd be semi close to Yellowstone. We could do like camping trips and just drive down there, but
Right.
just hasn't worked out with the way things are shaking right now.
No, it's crazy right now how it's going for sure. So, but we will have to see what we can do. Keep rolling forward.
That's right, man. It
But
actually
yeah.
sounds like right now, I don't know if you can hear it on the mic or not. So I've got I always leave when it's nice like this, I leave my office windows open so I can pretend that I'm outside being a park ranger selling Tacticams. And it sounds like my neighbors have the cornhole boards out. I can hear the bags thumping the wood. I'm almost positive that's what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So that tells you how nice it is up here right now. Spring's a coming, man. Speaking of spring, okay, so my number one bucket list goal this year is to get a bear. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to do some LTFO bear hunts.
We could do that. We can do that. I may be busy building a house, but we'll see.
Oh, come on. You got to get away for a while, right?
Well, yeah, but I gotta have a place to live before hunting season.
Yeah. We'll get a jumping jack trailer. You guys will be fine.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a 26-foot camper, but my wife said she'll live in it until September, and then she better be able to move into the house. So
okay, well, you got a time frame then.
Yeah, I got a time frame.
Gosh, well, that was the other thing. We were looking at property and contacted a few different builders. My wife's kind of got an idea of what she wanted to put on there for a cabin, and I couldn't believe how backlogged a lot of builders are even out here. And I don't know about your situation, but the couple that we had contacted, they even told us like, look, you might want to find somebody else because we're like 2 years backlogged.
Yeah, well,
it's like, holy crap.
You're talking to the builder, So,
yeah.
I mean, sure. I've still got to take and have the ability to sub stuff out for the bank. They want all that information.
Oh yeah.
But I plan on doing the majority of the work myself, which is just going to make it super busy for me. But it
sounds like we're going to have have to set up some fisheyes in time lapse mode.
And totally planning on it. Totally planning on it. Well, you know how many fisheyes I have, right?
I don't think I got a final count, but I know it's a good handful.
I think it's 6 or 7. It's a lot. I got one for the front of my boat, one for the back of boat, one for each side, one that I put underwater for netting, and then one that is mounted on the net. And then I might even have 1 or 2 more for like shoulder cams. I kind of went all in on the fisheyes.
The fisheyes are sweet. It's awesome, man. And yeah, that's this is turning into a Tacticam Film Your Hunt podcast. But the fisheye is a newer product from Tacticam. So basically Tacticam cornered the market on, hey, let's build a camera that is that is just perfectly fits the bill for everything that a hunter needs, regardless of skill level, regardless of give a crap about cameras. Like it fits every little niche and nook and cranny in that area. And then so fast forward a handful of years and they said, hey, let's check out the fishing market and kind of see what's going on there as far as, cameras customers like, cameras customers don't like, what features do they need, what price point does it need to be. And after like 2 or 3 years of just R&D, going to fishing trade shows, asking fishermen like these questions, they came out with what's called the Tactacam Fisheye. And like Jeremy said, it is like the bee's knees of a camera. Like in some ways, I like it more than the hunting cameras, just some of the features it has, but all around, this camera is just built for the fishermen. So number one, ease of use. Again, I'll hammer that with Tactacam. One button, you push a button, you're going to get your catch on film. And with the hunting cameras, you're going to get your hunt on film or your shot, whatever you're doing with it. It's got the remote capability like the 5.0, so you can run multiple cameras like Jeremy just said, body mounted, net mounted, bow and stern of the boat. Hit one button on your remote, all of your cameras you got mounted to your boat are going to turn on and record at the same time, which is sweet. And then it's got loop mode, which is my favorite feature about it, because you can be out there fishing. Jeremy probably goes walleye fishing with his boat. I mean, you can be sitting out there for hours before you finally start getting into the fish or something, and you can have that camera rolling the whole time, and it has a longer battery life than the hunting cameras. I'm getting almost
and it's got the USB power in, so you can take it and turn it on. So we've got the back cap, so you can have the power.
Great point.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. So the battery by itself, like when I'm standing like bank fishing up here in the Great Falls area of the Missouri for trout and stuff, like I can be I've gotten about 5.5 hours of full, like turn the camera on, 5.5 hours later, I feel it vibrate on my shoulder telling me it's shutting down in loop mode. And so basically loop mode is like it's recording the whole time, but you can mark your footage and actually save the points in time where you actually want to save the footage. So, I could be out there for 4 hours and catch 2 fish. Well, when I go back to edit my video, I pull it up on the screen and it shows me exactly where I marked the 2 catches. And then I can delete everything else and just keep what I want to keep on there, which is sweet. And then to Jeremy's point, 5.5 hours of battery life is awesome by itself. But if he's out there for a 10-hour day, Montana, it stays daylight forever, I feel like, during the summertime. He could be out there morning to dark, which is a long freaking time sometimes and up here, I feel like, but and just leave it plugged into a USB power source and never have to change a battery all day, which is sweet.
Yeah. So no, it works. I have my summer 2020 fishing folder with a whole bunch of fisheye footage. I might need to schedule a 4-hour video editing session every
you
week.
might have to, man, or a couple nights a week to get caught up.
Crazy.
And if you haven't checked it out, we just launched. So I went out hunting with my next door neighbor here. He's I guess my wife's in the Air Force and we live here on Malmstrom Air Force Base right now. And he's an officer in the Air Force, and he's a Louisiana boy through and through, just good old redneck fun kind of guy. And anyway, he never really got into hunting growing up. So now living in Montana, you're not going to live here, be stationed here and not go hunting. Like it's just a way of life in Montana, which is awesome. I love it. And the outdoors, the people that complain about Great Falls are the people who do not like going outside and doing stuff. They like playing video games, and they hate that you can't go to a nightclub every night, which is just not my scene. This is the best place I've ever lived in my life. I'm going to put a little Montana plug in there, but
only come here if you vote the right way.
Well, 100%, because the whole state just turned red and you're not going to turn it the other direction.
Right.
So it's a good thing. But no, it's very true. But anyway, so we took him out on his first antelope hunt. He drew a doe tag this year. Actually in the same, the unit to the south of where I had my buck tag this year. So anyway, we went out one day after I got my buck, and he's like, dude, you obviously know how to hunt antelope, which I would argue is it's a very circumstantial type of hunting. Like it's not hard because antelope are everywhere. But it is hard once you actually decide you're going to hunt them and not just stare at them from a vehicle. And so anyway, I'm like, yeah, I could go with you and try to coach you through this. And anyway, we ended up getting a really great hunt on film. So check that out, lightfireoutdoors.com. I think it's the video of the week, so it should be right on the homepage, but you can also go to LTFO Flicks when you're on there. All the videos are there, plus on the YouTube channel. So anyway, if you haven't checked that hunt out, definitely go check it out. And
you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's
for sure.
You're going to win a free review.
Why waste your time visiting our channel if you're not going to subscribe?
Exactly.
That just seems silly. Not to mention, I don't know if we've said this or not, but we're doing a giveaway where you could win a Tactacam reveal plus a bunch of other cool stuff if you actually subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
So that's just throwing that
go,
out there.
go to the channel and subscribe. Look at that video. It's some great spotter LR footage. Aaron almost misses it because
I
he was
almost
kind of
did, dude.
it was, yeah, almost,
That
but
was
almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and thankfully, not not in video
yeah,
cameraman recording. So,
dude, that was the first time I've ever played just cameraman on a hunt.
okay,
And I would argue that I got I got way more footage of that hunt. And that hunt took, I mean, start to finish, from us getting out of the pickup to him laying it down on that antelope and hiking back. I bet we were only hunting and filming for a matter of maybe an hour,
okay,
like maybe 2 hours. It wasn't long. I mean, most of it's after the kill anyway, when you got to gut the animal and hike it out and all that stuff. But
right,
I mean, it all happened very fast. And I got more quality footage of that hunt, I feel like, than a lot of the hunts that I go on for myself. And not knocking it, but it does show the difference of having a cameraman who's only thinking about filming and having a guy who's only thinking about hunting. But I will argue, and I'm interested to see, I got probably the coolest footage I've ever gotten of a hunt that I've done with Tacticams with my antelope I got this year. And I haven't had time to edit it yet, but I have.
okay,
I got the shot on spotter LR. I'm stocking in with my spotting scope and tripod with the spotter LR attached in one hand. I've got my cell phone in another hand filming some random like interview videos because it could block the wind better than my 5.0 could. I've got a 5.0 filming through the scope, and I got a 5.0 wide facing me off of the scope. So it's like, I mean, I had the full blown gamut of I was the Tacticam man out there, and I got it on every single angle. It was sweet. But that one was probably the coolest hunt I've gotten on Tacticam so far. So I got to get that put together and put it up there for like an antelope series. And did you get your shot on film this year?
Oh, my shot. Well, yes, I got the shot. Are we talking about my antelope or what animal? I got the kill of my elk in New Mexico on film.
No, dude, your elk hunt is going to be amazing because we got spotter LR video from two different spotting scopes. I got on my personal one, I was filming him up to the point where you shot I think your first, no, he went behind a hill from me, from my view. So I couldn't, but it was seconds later, you heard your gun go off. And then, but I got a bunch of footage of the other elk that was with him running off and stuff. And then Ben Stern, I think, got your shots on film with the spotter because he was in a different position than I was. And then you got FTS footage of yours. All I have of mine is FTS footage.
Well, and then I got, yes, I got shots. I got shots of a lot of stuff this year.
Well, I was specifically referring to antelope for like an antelope series.
Yes, I got shots of my antelope.
Awesome.
But I don't know that I got the harvest of my antelope.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter.
Because I missed my antelope a few times. You know what I mean? But those shots are recorded. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like to shoot lots. Unlike you, like you like to miss turkeys. I like to miss antelope and elk.
I think so. In a solo episode, a few episodes back, I can't remember what it was called, but something with antelope in the title. A few episodes back, I did a solo discussion of my antelope hunt between Jeremy coming on and John working the pipeline. And so now we've got it. We'll wrap this episode up here with, I want to hear your story of your antelope, because I don't think I've actually heard the whole thing start to finish, and I didn't know you missed.
Oh yeah, I missed. My antelope hunt wasn't that exciting. It was.
Well, don't tell everybody that. They'll quit listening right now.
Okay. Well, it was Montana spot and stock hunting in the most northern Montana spot and stock fashion. It's just how you do it in Montana. I mean, or can do it in Montana. And it was a really nice antelope buck. But I was driving around where my dad grew up, same in the country that my dad grew up, on our family's, well, it's now my dad's cousin's farm. So private land in Montana, and I'm driving section line roads that go around fields looking for antelope. And I see my antelope standing out in the field, and I'm like, that's a good shooter buck. So I keep driving until I can get a good view of them through my binoculars from a ways away. And then I say, well, I think if I loop around the field and get to that little dip in the draw, I can get out of my truck and crest the hill, and there's my antelope. So that's what I did, because, that's how I wanted to shoot my antelope.
Heck yeah.
And
Yeah.
and this was 9:30 opening
I'll-
morning. I mean, it's not like it.
Well, for sure, and I'll pause there, and that's what I said. So, like, that's a perfect way to describe what I was saying earlier with Montana. Like, and it's antelope hunting in general. I've hunted them in Wyoming too, and Jeremy's hunted them way more than I have. But from my experience in my couple of years, like, antelope is the easiest, hardest hunt you'll ever go on. It can be. It's like, it's not hard to find them. I mean, for the most part, they're
Right.
a visible animal. They're not super shy of roads.
If you hunt antelope when it's raining, they're super hard to find because they blend in. But if it's a sunshiny day,
when they're bedded down, it's almost impossible. Well, and and for people who haven't hunted them, to Jeremy's point, they're deceivingly, they look bigger than they are. Like, when you walk up to one for the first time, you're like, oh wow, like it surprises you how like small they are.
Well,
I grew up, I mean, for
you
a
see
deer,
Danny manhandling that thing and carrying it out on his shoulders in the video, and it's I mean, my lab might be bigger than that antelope.
Well,
and
I was going to say,
that's not a small antelope. That's just I've got a big
100%.
lab, and they're smaller creatures,
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's a great way to put that. Yeah, because that antelope in the video, so go again, check out Light the Fire Out. There's doors.com. It's in the flick of the week on the homepage there. Danny's antelope hunt. That antelope doe that he shot was bigger than my buck body wise.
Yeah.
And in, like Jeremy just said, he could pick it up, throw it over his shoulder, and carry it out whole, basically, like gutted but whole. But yeah, like that was one of the bigger antelope I've walked up on, and it still is not a big animal. I bet you live weight, maybe 100 pounds.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe 100. Big enough that when I was a kid, I forgot my skinning knife back at the house, or not at the house, at the truck, and it was my gutting knife rather. And I was probably 15 at the time, and I was small when I was 15. Keep in mind, I wrestled like 110 pounds when I was 15, so I was like 5'1" or 5 foot. I was a shrimp, but I shot that antelope and I threw it over my shoulders and carried it out. A mile and a half on my shoulders. So, it was not, it was work because I was small and it was bigger, but it was not, it wasn't a huge animal, and that had guts in, keep in mind, so that was live weight.
For sure. No, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's not again, you drive down the road and anywhere that has antelope, for the most part, if there's any decent population numbers, you're going to see them from the road. So there's
some super hard districts to hunt antelope, which have limited access, and you get away from the highway and you get back in on and you're catching them going from private to private, running across public. That's how you have to hunt them. There's an area that I've hunted. So, but keep in mind, this area I'm hunting private land. It's a super hard tag to draw. We used to be able to draw it every other year. It took 6 years to be able to draw the tag.
Wow.
So, so you're really in the prime of one of the better hunting districts, and it's private land, family ranch, pick the draw. The only people hunting antelope this year, opening morning. And, so yeah, it was I mean, put it this way, I missed the antelope a couple of times and it still stood there and looked at me until I could bring it into target and shoot the antelope, so.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, that's essentially my hunt. I crawled up till I could see the antelope over the little crest of the ravine. So I crawled for 25 yards, and I wasn't I didn't belly crawl or anything because it was opening day and an hour and a half into the hunt. I'm like, if I blow this one out, I'll go find another one, but it's a shoot or buck. And that was my hunt, and then of course, since it was my dad's cousin's place, and it was a stubble field that he had harvested that fall. So I drove right up to it and threw it in the back of the truck and gutted it right there. I mean, there was no public land, do it yourself, hard backpack out. I mean, they're just,
no backpack plug here. Yeah.
Well, you sit there and I don't know, but it's still hunting, right? You know, it's
100%.
we
You
kind of
just you
talked
have
about that
more.
with my deer hunting. It's just a different way to do it, you know. So and
Well,
does that make
yeah.
me any less of a hunter? Maybe our listeners are going to say, Jeremy, get off your lazy butt and get after it, you know.
Well,
But
I got a couple notes for you on this, Jeremy. So first thing, you said you crawled over the crest of the hill so you could see the animal. Did you not fire till you could see the white of its eyes?
no, it was I had a 26 nozzler. I was like,
Oh.
500 yards away. Like,
Okay, so anyway, I had to plug that. So, and then
but you knew that answer before you asked, right?
I did. Oh, 100%. I just had to ask because it couldn't leave my mind. And then second, no, I think it's funny hearing you backpedal on your story because you could drive to the animal because it was private land, because all these different factors. You don't, I promise you, you do not hear, you wouldn't, that is 100% normal where I grew up. Like you don't, like a hard
Well,
deer drag in where I grew up is like uh half a mile maybe on an extreme occasion. Like most of the time you can drag it 100 yards and you can throw it in the back of a pickup from there. I mean, it's not a, so it's funny, it just relatively it's funny because like you grew up in a spot where like you have this culture of, oh, get 5 miles in, backpack,
well,
nothing
but
but my
that's
socks on. Like it's just like, oh, it's the toughest thing in the world. And I'm not saying that's bad. It's fun. It's adventure. I really, really enjoy that type of hunting now, having a chance to have done it. But I 100% would say there's nothing wrong with being able to hunt something exactly how you just did. And there, to me, like, I don't know why you'd scoff at that because that's just an opportunity you had available to you, which is awesome.
right, right. And I guess the thing is, though, Aaron, is that's only become popular over the last 10 years. You know,
Oh, I
Gr-
believe it. Yeah.
growing up as a kid, we used to, that's how you didn't hike after anything unless you saw it, and,
Yeah.
and, and there was animals when I was in high school that me and my hunting partners, we didn't shoot because you couldn't drive to it and we weren't going to drag it out,
It's
and
funny
I
you
mean,
mentioned that too,
simple
because I've
drags,
talked to,
but you
yeah, I've
know,
talked to people up here that'll like local guys and gals who've grown up in Montana, and they'll 100% say the same thing. You ask them like, well, you talk to them about elk hunting or something like that, maybe, and they're like, oh yeah, I get my elk every year. You're like, really? Like that's awesome. You're like, what tips do you have to be able to do that? I'm like, well, first and foremost, shoot one that I can't do. And then you're just like, oh, okay. I mean, that's just like a common practice. Like they're not going to go work their butts off if they don't have to get
right.
something like that. That's funny.
And it's just having the private land and the access to do it.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
but
Well, I mean, so, I did very specifically note down here that you didn't mention at all how many times or how you missed your antelope. It just sounded like you crawled up there and got him. So what happened?
well, I missed a few times. I don't even know
And
how
he
many
just stood there
times.
and let you kept Hail Marrying on him?
Yeah, he so he trotted off down the
Uh-huh.
field a little bit further and went over the rise. So I walked back to my pickup and I drove forward till I got about to crest the hill. And then I got out of my pickup and I went to the crest of the hill and then I ended up shooting him. So
Okay. No, that's perfect. I was just
so
curious. So you only missed him
I,
once.
no, I missed multiple times. I shot 5 or 6 times before I finally hit him. But he
And
was
you're
not.
shooting your 338 Lapua?
No, my 26 Nozzler.
Oh yeah, you said that. Okay. Yeah, I was like, holy
which
smokes.
which was off, and I did go shoot it the next week and it was off, so it was
Oh,
not.
okay. Well,
So
yeah, we know.
I did
As long
have
as
an
we have
easy.
some sort of an excuse, that's
Well,
better.
no, it still wasn't an excuse because I should have shot it a week before. I should have shot it a week before the season and made sure it was on. So, and I no, the antelope he was just dumb. He was just dumb. I mean, he just had no pressure, no hurt, no hunting.
Yeah.
And and there's no way around it. I wasn't even shooting suppressed.
Oh
So
wow.
it might not have been 6 times, but it was more than 3 times because I had to reload my gun.
Yeah, we could just say it was a good handful.
Yeah, it was a good animal. It was a 600 grain club, 600 club. We'll just call it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, it probably was close to the 600 grains. So, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a challenging hunt or anything. But
No,
but it was
that's
fun,
pretty
and
cool, man.
it was a harvest, and he tastes really good, and
Oh,
has good horns on him,
oh
and
yeah.
it was a great hunt weekend with my dad and my brother, um, so which I learned to cherish more and more the older we get, because we all have busy schedules and
Heck yeah.
conflicts and everything else. So
No, and I know my dad's gonna listen to this. I gotta get him locked in now. So I peer pressured my brother to commit to putting in for a Wyoming. We're probably gonna put in as a group, I suppose, just for the heck of it. But I was like, dude, we got to start doing something like annually, because I mean, my dad lives in Iowa. I live in Montana right now, and my wife's in the military, so we'll be moving all the time anyway. We'll never live back in Iowa while
right,
she's in her career. And then my brother lives in Austin, Texas. So it's like we're super separated, and then it is what it is. We go visit each other here and there, but it's just like, man, we got to do like something like once a year, because you just don't get that time back. And my brother he's like my dad got into hunting because I was into hunting growing up. And I think he could see that. Obviously, I watched the hunting channel for like 3 hours at night when I could. And so he kind of got into hunting, I think, for that purpose. But then we kind of just got out of it once, Iowa, everything's private ground for the most part. I mean, it's like less than 2% or less than one. It might even be less than 2% of Iowa is public land. So which is insane when you think about like Montana being what, like, is it 30% public?
I think it might even be more than that, but it's
It
like
might be.
some of it that what I don't know for sure, because there's accessible public
True.
land and then landlocked public land. So,
Very true. No, that's a good
you know,
point. Yeah. So
but
either
there's a
way, I
lot
mean,
more
just
than Iowa,
drastic.
you know,
Oh, 100. Yeah, for sure. I
is
mean,
which
it's
is the point you're
very,
trying to make.
and basically the parts of Iowa that are public are like pieces that either have been donated back to the state from somebody that owned it privately before, or it's a part that you just can't farm because it's a wetland or something like that, like a river marsh or something like. So a lot of it's like even different country than what you think about Iowa being, which is why it stayed public the whole time. Anyway, but just getting those and my brother just didn't grow up hunting, and so that's a goal of mine this year, is to get kind of our first annual, I don't know what we're going to call it, but something of where we all just get together, go hunt somewhere, because that's an easy thing to do, and you don't really have to be into it to go enjoy camp. And if you get to bring
Right.
home some more, and my brother is like, he likes to go, but he had a bad experience shotgun season one time in Iowa. If you've never shotgun hunted in Iowa, it might not make sense, but you do in a random weird sense, and it's going to sound more dangerous than it actually is, but you'll hear like slugs and stuff like whizzing around every once in a while. Like they might you miss a deer, ricochets off the ground, and you might be down in a river bottom and hear something that's 70 feet above your head buzzing, like, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just happens. It's just kind of part of it. No one's practicing unsafe practices, and you try to be as safe as you can, but those types of things get kind of hairy sometimes. So anyway, he had a bad experience with a situation like that where a guy was shooting at a deer way away from where, and I was actually walking the same river bottom. I was walking one side of the river, my brother was walking the other, and got a situation where the guy was in definitely shooting too much for comfortability in the direction of where we were at pushing at this doe. And my brother heard some of that, bullets whizzing, that kind of stuff, and he said, screw this, dude, it's not worth my life to be out here hunting. And I can't blame him, like, screw that.
Right.
But anyway, so that totally turned him off from it. And then him and I have gone a couple of times, but I know he enjoys shooting. He's kind of like, he's an engineer by trade, so he likes the math equation stuff. So like in his head, I think he would love to come out here and do like PRS stuff, like
Yeah.
get a rifle that he can calculate out his shots and stuff like that. So I was like, well, why don't we plan like an antelope hunt then, like in Wyoming? Because I said, more than likely you're going to have a long shot. Like, it'll be fun for you, like in the sense of you can get out there, you can go try to get as close or as far away as you want on them. It's kind of the name of the game. And so I think he committed to it. Now I just got to convince my dad. He just retired from his career at FedEx. He owned like 5 FedEx routes, I think, and he sold them to his business partner and got out of it. And so he's semi-retired. My mom runs an in-home daycare, and so they do that together. But anyway, trying to get him out to, now that he's got more free time during hunting season, like potential free time, I guess. We'll have to see if we can get a long weekend away to do that. But no, that's a great point. Those things you don't get that time back.
No, That's for sure. So, and that's why I look forward to doing antelope hunting every year for sure.
Heck yeah.
With
For
the
sure. Plus you
family.
got a young guy or two young guys now coming up behind you. So
Yeah, they're going to be getting in on it for sure.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the videos you share of your oldest, man, jamming to guitars and music, all the stuff his
Oh
dad
yeah,
does, man. It's awesome.
Joey is all about it for sure. And
That's
he's you know, he was on that deer hunt when I shot my deer this year. And the funny thing is I kind of blew off the antler uh on one of the shots. And so we won't
dude, I
talk
think
about that.
you need to spend a little bit more time on the range.
I probably do this year. But but we went up to the deer, and the first thing he says was, "Uh-oh, deer," you know.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, because the deer was dead. So he says, "Uh-oh, deer." And then the next thing he says, and then, you know, there's some pictures, and he's trying to take that broken antler and stick it back on. Put it back where it goes. But that's one of his favorite things as we go around. Going around the neighborhood, there's deer that walk through the town and all that stuff, and he watches for the deer and says night night deer and all that good stuff. So I really look forward to getting him involved in the whole hunting and fishing lifestyle that we have come to love here in Montana.
Yeah, man,
So
absolutely. Well, that's awesome. It's funny. It's funny hearing that. And then our next, so Danny's boy, he's got three boys. One is like 10 or 11. And then the other guy is like, I think he might be 3.5, maybe going on 4. And they got a brand new one that's, I think, less than a year old, maybe just turned a year. And anyway, the middle son, the 3-year-old, he's one of the most in touch with his emotions kids I've ever met in my life. My mom did daycare my whole time growing up. So I mean, I've met a lot of little kids. This kid is just like in tune with, like, it's crazy how in tune with his emotions he is. But anyway, his dad brought home a white-tailed doe that he'd shot. He had a doe tag out here in Region 4. And I guess Danny had just thrown it like in, like the whole thing hadn't skinned it or anything, but it was small enough it could fit in like a decent sized cooler, like hole. And he just put ice in the chest cavity or whatever and put it in this cooler to, like, he wanted to experiment with aging it for a while or something.
right.
Anyway, I guess when he finally got around to cleaning it, he borrowed some of my stuff like grinder and everything else, and I dropped it all off. And when I went to go pick it up, I said, "Oh, how'd it go?" And he said, "Well," he said, it all went really well processing wise." I said, "I don't know how well Henry did with it." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Go in and talk to him real quick." And I'm like, "Okay." In there, and I'm listening to Henry talk, and the whole time this guy was talking about, he talks so fast, and he's, you know, his sentences, you got to really listen to him to understand what he's saying. But you kept getting the image that he remembers very vividly, that deer in the cooler, which I don't think he liked seeing that deer in the cooler. And it had its tongue hanging out. He made that very clear, like 100 times, that he didn't like his tongue hanging out. And he was concerned, like he felt bad for this deer. Like you could just read it all over him, like every emotion he had. And you're just like, "Oh, dude, you're never going to get over this, are you?" And then every time for like the next 2 weeks that I saw him, he'd come run over and start telling me about this deer that he saw. Same stuff. The tongue hanging out, the deer kind of curled up in the cooler, the whole nine. You're like, man, it's like watching a bad horror movie almost. You kind of feel bad about it, but anyway, but he's so proud of, you know, you can tell he's proud of whatever his dad brings home though too, because you know, now he's getting some of his Euro, you know, he's got a couple nice mule deer over the last couple of years, and the Euros are coming back and they're in the house hanging on the wall. And that's the first thing Henry will tell you when you walk in there is, "Look at this deer," you know, and pointing at his dad's deer on the wall and telling you how his dad brought it home. And like, so it's just funny, like the different levels of emotions kids have with it.
Yep. It is
funny
awesome. For sure. So
very, very cool.
Well, we've been chatting for a little while, so we probably, I don't know what time we started because we were talking about work stuff before that, but it's probably about time to kind of wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. We'll let the listeners' ears rest. So, but no, man, good chatting with you again, catching up. Kind of a random episode, but a lot of stuff going on right now. So
for sure.
Very, very cool.
Do it again, and be sure to one more plug for our giveaway on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel and our Instagram. Be sure to go like, and once we get 1,000 likes on our Facebook page, we're going to give it, what did we say, a week, or was it 2 weeks? I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll give it a week. Once it hits 1,000, we'll
week.
announce it. And then that next week, for anybody else who's late to the game, we'll get them in on it too.
Well, we'll announce it right away on our Facebook and YouTube and or our Facebook and Instagram probably. And,
for sure.
And YouTube. I think we can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we'll go to our YouTube channel and we'll look at the subscribers and do a random drawing and, or some random drawings. I don't know. We might do a couple, might do one. We going to give all the prizes to one person or do a couple prizes for different people?
Maybe we'll do like a first and second. We'll do a Tacticam reveal, maybe a swag pack, and then we'll do a swag pack for second.
Okay.
We'll draw two random names, 2 chances to win.
2 chances to win. And right now, if you're one of the 8 subscribers, which is probably really 6, because I think you're 1 and I'm 1. So you really got a 50% chance to win. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, awesome, man. Well, good deal. Cool. Yeah, definitely go check all that stuff out. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All righty. Sounds good. Well,
all right, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll see ya.
We'll see ya.
So, Aaron, you left. Okay, good deal. And
there you have it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Praying and Slaying podcast today. If you find what we do entertaining, please go to whatever platform you listen to the Praying and Slaying podcast on and give us a 5-star review. Also help us out by checking out our content at lightthefireoutdoors.com. All kinds of great stuff there, videos, blog entries, obviously all the Praying and Slaying episodes. And you can also check us out at Facebook and Instagram at lightthefireoutdoors.com. Thanks again, guys. We'll catch you in the next one and keep praying and slaying.